Hey folks, my name is Jürgen, aka Nerd and Proud of It, and Destiny has brought you to my channel today to talk about the reserve list. Yes, it's another video about the stupid reserve list. It is another video about the cool and awesome reserve list. You guys know I like the reserve list. I've been around in the early 90s when they reprinted the cool cards in Chronicles. They reprinted my Elder Dragons. I was ready to stop, and then they actually came up with the reserved list concept, and we collectors back then as now trust in the reserved list. Of course they tried to get rid of it. Of course it actually was a really scary time during the 30th anniversary disaster. Of course there's always somebody against the reserved list, but in a time and age when collector boxes reach the price of $1,000, $1,200. Why the fuck shouldn't you actually buy a dual land for $500? If a collector box of modern shit that isn't worth anything is more expensive than cool old cards you actually can use and that will never be reprinted. Hopefully, but honestly, I think they learned their lesson, and if they didn't, a lot of old players will definitely stop. And you can say, yeah, but Magic isn't for old players. Yes, that's partly true. But I think old players still are very, very relevant for the whole ecosystem. For getting new players in, for collecting, for keeping the market alive, for teaching new players, and so on and so on. You could say that they could do that without the reserve lists, but it's about the love for the game. I just wanted you to be aware that recently I noticed that the reserve list is pretty strong when it comes to sales. You've seen the videos Rudy made. I think they were like, yeah, the reserve list has some sales, but nothing major. You've seen Moxman's videos, who is actually updating you on a lot of sales of the reserved list every week. And there are always some dual lands in there. And there are low tier reserved list cards for a couple of bucks which sell 50, 100 copies. And of course that accumulates. But in the end, they all say the same. The reserved list isn't dead. And there was a bad time after the 30th anniversary disaster. But still, it couldn't kill the reserved list. And I've been preaching for a couple of years now that old cards are holding strong. No, they don't go up in price. No, they do not skyrocket. No, the reserved list doesn't attract investors. But the reserved list is very, very healthy. People are buying high-end cards, mainly for Commander, but also other high-end cards. I see people buy playsets of the Juzum. Not necessarily not the best creature out there, but for an old school deck, which is a very, very popular format, there are many tournaments around. I actually have seen that, and I actually been to a few in Germany, here in the Netherlands, and people take this very seriously. In old school decks, they still use these cool big creatures that back then were ruling the battlefield. And the same goes for old cards like a counterspell from Beta or Unlimited. A Beta counterspell is probably $200-300 in good condition, an Unlimited one 100, 120, or even $150 near mint. You could buy a counterspell for 50 cents. That's not the reserved list, but I just wanted you to let you. I wanted to let you know that even cards that are played that are not on the reserved list, that are old, are actually holding quite some value. Juzum, of course, is on the reserved list. At least I believe so. I think the Juzum is on the reserved list, right? Dual lands are selling very well. Still, always have. I had a look at my dual land set, and I had a look at what I paid for some of my dual lands. I had a lot of dual lands from back in the day, from the early 90s. I needed some to complete a complete playset. To complete a playset of 40 dual lands, 4 of each of the 10 dual lands revised. And I bought some like a few years ago just to complete those sets. And if I would have to buy them now, I would pay more. And of course the price has dropped after the 30th anniversary disaster. Yes, that's what I'm going to call it. That's what I'm going to keep calling it. But still, after the dust settled, everything was kind of okay. I just think if people tell you to look somewhere, if people tell you to look at new cards, if people tell you to look at collector boxes, especially the newer ones, the ones that go up to $1,000, the ones that are really limited. And no, we're not talking about Spider-Man and the Turtles, which obviously do not carry the same value as a collector box, let's say Ixalan or something, which I think has skyrocketed in price. And of course stuff like Final Fantasy and Lord of the Rings. If people tell you to look there, it might be a good idea to look at the old cards. Because often, if you start looking in the direction nobody's looking at the moment, it might be a little bit too late. Then you're already paying more than you should. Again, I'm not saying the prices skyrocket. I'm not saying the reserved list is something you should invest to or invest in. That's better. But if you like old cards, if you want to complete sets like I do, I still need one unlimited volcanic island. I've been looking for that for quite a while. A light plate one sets me back about $1,200. A good one in good condition about $1,350. If you want a near mint one, you're looking at $1,700. That's more than it was right around the 30th anniversary disaster. So, and more than it was before. It's crazy that you can look at the cradles and they sell constantly for around $800 in near mint condition and about $500-600 in good and excellent condition. The same goes for the Mox. Mox Diamond, is it? Right? I always mix up my Moxes. Wordplay. Pun intended. I honestly have to say as well that I will try to get some more cards. At the moment, I can't afford any. If nothing's coming in, then nothing can go out, so my buying times are over. I still have a few cards I can put on camera I've bought months and months ago, and those are mostly antiquities and some other old cards for my unlimited set. But for the rest, unfortunately, I have to keep it to theoretical talk for now. Once I have the opportunity to buy more and to buy again, then I definitely will do that. And I'm not saying you should go out there and spend all your life savings on the reserved list, because it can go up, it can go down. It is as easy as it is. It is what it is. But I have seen firsthand that people who have bought cards they actually wanted, may it be a revised Taiga for $350 in okay condition, may it be a revised Plateau for $250, have put that in their commander deck. The cards haven't lost their value, they haven't gone down in value. A lot of them even have gone up. Not 100, 200 euros per card or $200 per card, but about 50, maybe 20, 30, $50 a card. So if you bought that Plateau not for 250 but maybe for 200, now it's 250 again. That's how it is. If you bought that Cradle for 500-600 during the downtimes, it's 800 again. That's how it goes. The reserved list, I think, is here to stay, and it's a very comfortable constant in the wild world of Magic the Gathering. Without the reserve list, I think things would look bleak. And that's a controversial opinion, I know. I've always said that, and I believe that, because I saw, again, firsthand, times change, yes, but I saw it more than 30 years ago. People would have stopped. The game would not be where it is without the reserved list. And in times where people can spend thousands and thousands of bucks on either collector boxes, new ones, or serialized cards, why is there any necessity to reprint the reserve list? There's not. It only can damage the game. I think it's great. And you don't need the cards to play, right? If you play like Commander or whatever, because the cards that are allowed are cheaper than some of the cards you want to put in there. open your eyes. Check the market for yourself. Don't listen to YouTubers. Just take their opinion, form your own with their opinion, and see what's going on out there. The reserve list is definitely not that. The reserve list is doing very well. The reserve list, I think I said, if you would take a shot for every time I said reserved list during this video, you would be very drunk right now. I think the reserve list is extremely healthy and slowly creeping up. And I think wise people at least want to have a little bit of exposure to the reserve list. So I'm very happy with my collection. I hope I can get some more cards that I still want. And the funny thing is, every time I make a video about the reserve list and I address this, people say, hey, psh, don't tell anyone. I still want to get the cards while they're cheap. And that's not one person, that's not two persons. It's a lot of people that are actually thinking that way. So people are buying, everything is healthy, nothing is exploding. So people keep it quiet and they can get the cards they want. If you don't want to miss out, you might want to check out the cards you want to buy eventually and check them out again next month and see that they probably are €5 more expensive or $5 more expensive, maybe 10, maybe 15 it's a dual land, and then check them out the month after, and if they're gone up 20, 30 bucks, you see what I mean, right? Stay healthy, folks. Stay frosty. The Zoom was zooming. Check that reserve list. Believe me. Still here? Okay. One last thing I wanted to say. Cards that are not on the reserve list and that are old staples. Alpha, Beta, Unlimited. And we all talk about, Alpha, way too expensive. Beta, yeah, pretty okay. Like I mentioned the counterspell before. Try to get a set of Swords to Plowshares. Try to get a set of Terrors. Try to get a set of Disenchants. Try to get a set of counterspells. Try to get a set of Red Elemental Blast, Blue Elemental Blast. Just playable cards. A set of Giant Growth. And by a set I mean a playset, 4 of each. Each of these old cards in Alpha, Beta or Unlimited. Let's take the Giant Growth. If you want a near mint Giant Growth in Unlimited, that's probably 12 bucks. Maybe 15 if you find an expensive vendor. If it's Beta, it's probably 30, double. And if it's Alpha, it's probably 50. And then we're talking about very good, excellent condition, maybe near mint condition. You can find a Giant Growth for 5 bucks. 5 bucks for a fucking common card. An unlimited one. But if you want to have really good condition for a deck or whatever, these old cards, these old staples. That's my last advice. Not only check out the reserve list, but some of the very playable staples. And not one, try to get a playset. Very good idea. Again, stay healthy, folks. Stay frosty. Thanks a lot for listening. I talk to you next time. Bye-bye.